Alrighty guys, what is going on? My name is W. I said I wasn't going to make a video, but I'll be honest with you. I'm going to try to rationally explain WWE Fast Lane. The first thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that Stephanie and Triple H were not at the show due to plane maintenance is what they are running with. And I want to make that the sticking point because I've said all year the Authority and Triple H and Stephanie are still in control, even though the fan favorites are the general managers. With Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan, each on Raw and SmackDown. And as the end of the year drew towards WrestleMania, AJ would lose the title, and so would Kevin Owens after tonight's pay-per-view. So both fan favorites going into WrestleMania do not have the championships anymore, and they're being taken over in the case of SmackDown with Bray, and then Randy's in the title picture over there, and then AJ is fighting for it, ultimately probably going to lose it to Shane McMahon interfering some way, shape, or form. So it's setting up like two fan favorites are getting the shaft. And for the main part, the Authority looks like they did nothing wrong. They weren't there, so Mick Foley probably going to take the heat for this one. Stephanie can be like, Mick, we told you to take care of the main event. Especially with the Women's Championship match and Sasha Banks and Charlotte. In that match, Sasha Banks would come out and interfere, and why the referee didn't call for a DQ, we don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to rationalize this the best way I can. I think what happened in the main event, I think everybody saw coming, or I think a lot of people saw coming. My best joke on Twitter tonight was with Goldberg and Kevin Owens. WWE like, wow, who saw that coming? And then the fans were like, we all did, what the fuck? And then WWE's like, wait, what? So honestly, I don't mind the fact that Goldberg beat Kevin Owens. I've said all along, it's about best friends. You can now have them fight over the United States Championship. I wish Sami Zayn would sneak his way in because I think the video package would be phenomenal. But let's go down the match card. So, on the main card, we had Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn. And I have to be honest with you, I like the booking here. If Seth Rollins hadn't gotten hurt, or if they're just running a storyline for this, I was hoping Sami Zayn could elevate his way up to possibly get back in with Kevin Owens in some way, shape, or form. He got thrown in with Samoa Joe, and I like the fact that Samoa Joe beat him with the clutch in a way that Sami Zayn didn't actually tap out. He just went unresponsive. So therefore he did lose the match because he wasn't able to continue, but for the most part, he didn't tap out. So it was kind of like John Cena or somebody kind of passing out, but they didn't actually give up. So it gives them a reason they could eventually ask for retribution. I don't know if it'll be against Samoa Joe. I think Samoa is going to go on to some bigger and better things. The question that I have after Samoa Joe leaves Sami Zayn is what happens to Sami Zayn. Like I said, the fact that he didn't actually tap out could, allow some, I don't want to say a fan, I guess you really can't go the underdog route in this case because Sami losing again, there's more to it for him finally to win. I think maybe because Roman Reigns knocked down Braun Strowman, maybe Sami can go up against Braun now and beat him at WrestleMania in like a 2 out of 3 falls, like I've said all along. Hopefully that match happens. But ultimately, I like the fact that Samoa looked like an absolute beast. And I'll be honest with you, I'm okay with it. Then we moved on to the Tag Team Championship match. And Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson beat Enzo Amore and Big Cass. If I'm being honest here, I'm perfectly fine with it. I wanted them to leave with the titles. I was hoping in a far out world that Luke and Karl would lose, and then AJ would also get screwed out of his match, and they would reform the club at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. And then maybe Finn comes back, and there's a feud between them. I thought that would have been pretty cool, but they did come away with the victory. And if Enzo and Big Cass were to win, I think it would be a lot better for them to win at WrestleMania. So I'm perfectly fine with it. Then comes on to Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. Now, I'll be honest with you here. I thought Nia was going to win. In the end, Sasha Banks did win with a roll-up pin. She did bridge it for the 1-2-3. And I honestly saw Nia beating her down. Because I didn't expect what happened in the Women's Championship match, which I'll just jump to right now because it is related. Bayley did defeat Charlotte Flair. The streak ended tonight. So not only did Kevin Owens lose his Universal Championship, not only did Braun Strowman lose, Charlotte's 16-0 streak is out the window. Now, I have to be honest with you. WWE is the one that made us care about this 16-0 streak because, for the most part, unless WWE mentioned it, nobody even cared about it or knew about it at all. WWE in the last 2 months, like pushing her streak, has made people care about it to the point where people were tweeting out tonight, like, how could you just end the 16-0 streak? Right? Like, they made us care about a streak that didn't really matter for the most part. Because if she's losing on Raws, that's kind of a problem. So, Bayley winning with Sasha Banks interfering, I have to be honest with you, felt a little bit weird. I didn't really expect it. She did kick out of a natural selection. But in the end, Sasha Banks coming out again, to me, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing imaginable, because Bayley going into WrestleMania, if she was to get turned on, I think it would be great. I still could see a way that Bayley is champion going into WrestleMania, and Sasha has her back the whole time until at WrestleMania, right when Sasha's about to win, Bayley could Bayley to belly her for the 1, 2, 3, and that could make Sasha turn the very next night. Coming out of this tonight, they both win their matches. Bayley and Sasha are on top. And now it looks like a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. That's roughly what has been speculated for the last couple months. And honestly, going into this, I could see Bayley actually winning at WrestleMania. But if it gets stolen from her, especially if it's Sasha Banks stealing it from her at WrestleMania, that'd be a pretty awesome moment, I think, especially from a storyline purpose. And then we move on to, so before the show, I can't believe I'm even saying this, Jinder and Rusev basically got into it with Foley, and their tag team partnership is over. Not that I actually cared about it in the first place. I have to be honest, though, Jinder's looking good. They're both going to get on a one-on-one match, and then Jinder and Rusev actually bust out and fight before their match. And then it's Jinder one-on-one with Cesaro. Cesaro beat Jinder. It was actually, I thought, an okay match. The fact that this just got added on pay-per-view felt really weird. And then it was Big Show taking on Rusev. And Big Show would dominate Rusev because, Big Show has to look strong for Shaq. Because Shaq is the guy that, well, a lot of people are going to say, I thought the match was off. I think they're trying to TMZ us like Conor McGregor, trying to get fans to actually want to see it, is I think the route they're going. I'm not opposed to it because look at how much work Big Show has done. I think he said he's down to 379 now, which is pretty fucking awesome. Then we move on to Neville taking on Jack Gallagher. Honestly, probably one of the best matches on the card. My bet for this match was actually Neville was going to win. And the way he did it, I have to be honest with you, they made a really big deal about the red arrow coming out again. I don't know if I haven't really paid attention. Has he not used it as of late? Is that why it was such a big deal? Because honestly, I thought he's been doing it. So Neville did retain, and Jack came out looking way better than I thought. During the whole night, they were pushing Austin Aries. It seems like Austin Aries is going to be ready for WrestleMania. Before the show, when he said he was starting off with a main event, I was like, okay, wait. Are they starting off with Goldberg versus Kevin Owens? And he was actually talking about the promo for himself. It looks like he's going to be ready in time for WrestleMania. So I think Neville has beat down a couple guys now. You have Rich and Akira Tozawa won on the pre-show against Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. And now Austin Aries can position himself into a match. And I think if they go the ladder match route, I think it would be best, especially if Austin Aries can swoop in and win and start his reign. Then we move on to Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Honestly, it was a really good match. I kind of just want to leave it there. If I'm being honest, I just want to stop. Because a lot of people are going to say, why build up Braun this heavy if you're just going to have him lose? Honestly, I can see why Roman won, and I said this beforehand on my prediction video. I said, if Roman wins, you have to remember, Roman Reigns is a 3-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So it makes sense for him to beat Braun Strowman. Braun losing to a former 3-time champion is not the end of the world. It's really not. And for the most part, it went down how I thought it was going to go down. And I don't think Braun necessarily is done for the fact that his push got stopped. Like I said, he's a 3-time former champion. And the fact that Braun came up just short before WrestleMania, I think the fact that also on the card, Sami Zayn lost. You had Kevin Owens losing his title. And the way Bayley won, I think a lot of people were just really upset with like Charlotte breaking her streak. Like everything that just happened was a culmination of it. And I think a lot of fans they're really upset right now, blaming it on Vince McMahon and whatever's going on. But you have to remember, Triple H and Stephanie weren't there. And the blame is going to end up a lot on Mick Foley. And I think that's where we're going to see the storyline branch out. So the fact that Goldberg won, I did tweet out the picture of Chris Jericho before the match. And then it was like, hit the fucking music. And right before that, I tweeted out best friends. And Chris Jericho did come out. I was actually hoping he would help him retain. And then hit him with a code breaker afterwards, grab the belt, and point to Mania. Because Chris Jericho did essentially cost himself a match for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania by allowing Goldberg to win. But it looks like they're going to be feuding for at least the United States Championship. Like I said, if Sami Zayn could find his way into that match, I would be happy. Goldberg now is going to go up against Brock Lesnar. We don't know what The Undertaker is doing as of right now. Possibly, maybe, because the leaked cover art, I think, from the pay-per-views, the DVD that they were going to do of dual pay-per-views, had Undertaker in the picture with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I would not be opposed to Undertaker versus AJ Styles either. There's a lot of different things that can happen, but this pay-per-view, for the most part for me, is going to get a thumbs down. I wasn't that excited about it. I'll be honest with you. Probably had some shots, and the way this pay-per-view ended, I'm probably going to take some more shots. But let me know what you guys thought of the pay-per-view in the comment section below. For the most part, I like the matches that weren't even announced. I actually really dug Jinder versus Cesaro. I like Jinder Mahal. I don't know why. And then the new Rusev with the haircut is looking pretty rad. But the fact that Big Show, really is cutting weight and is looking good, I actually appreciated the match. And like I said, Braun versus Roman, I didn't like the outcome, but it was a pretty good match. And then Neville versus Jack Gallagher. For the most part, it was the bigger matches. I saw it all going down just like this, for the most part, except I wanted Nia to beat Sasha Banks. Other than that, it all made sense. So let me know what you guys thought of the pay-per-view in the comment section below. We'll be back with Monday Night Raw review. I'm sure they're going to do something big because we are now just 4 weeks away from WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, Florida. So until tomorrow night, guys, thank you very much. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. And hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, it's your boy WM. We will see you all later. They're calling it slow lane. At least a lot of people on Twitter are. I don't know, but the shots are going to make it go fast. That's going to make it go fast.